Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Because it's time to write now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right.
All right, my friends, welcome to another daily writing stream. Today, we're going to try to get some writing in. It's the start of my writing week, and hopefully you'll come join me. So today, we're going to get in a couple writing sprints. We'll definitely get in two at least. I'll see how much I'm able to get into. My time might be a little bit more limited today, but we'll see. We'll see what's possible. So make sure to stick around. And yeah, we'll get some writers chat in as well. We'll catch up with the writers in the community and see just how everyone is doing. But first, welcome to the community. I'm Kaufman. I'm on a mission to help the writers with the process, lifestyle, and mindset that it takes to be a writer. Because let's face it, with a community, it's made so much easier. So come join us because we're starting right now. Chat Soul, welcome, my friend Laura. Glad to have you guys here in the stream. Maddie in the house. What is up, my friends? What are you guys working on today? Anything exciting? Hopefully, fingers crossed. I have a crazy crow to keep developing. It just so turns out that the host of our contest need to continue writing out this chapter. So we're going to see how this turns out. As you can see, I have the writing software all set up on my screen already, and I am set. So we're going to keep the first one super easy, 25 minutes. We'll get we'll see what the vibe is like today. Hey, what's up, Lynn? Just co-writing revisions. Revisions are always fun, right? I was like, hey, I mean, that's what I'm in. Revision mode / kind of rewriting mode. That's what the second draft has felt like. Nice. So you're like working on Raging Inferno, book 3. That's so exciting. Like the fact that you got through the first 2 books is a huge accomplishment. Courtney in the house. Maddie working on a spec. Today it's going interesting. Well, we're just going to have to turn that interesting into something even more interesting. I believe in you, Maddie. I feel like you're going to come out with some creative genius today. I feel it. Hey, what's up, RA? Always good to see you here in the community, my friend. Hopefully, the writing vibe is treating you well. And ML in the stream. Welcome. Okay, so I am all ready. We'll catch up more on the break, but I think we are set. So we're going to do 25 minutes, whether you are brainstorming, writing, editing, revising, author branding, or maybe just wanting to hang out. Come join us because it's time to write now. All right. Writing sprint done. Writing sprint done. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. How did that writing sprint treat you? Were you able to make any progress that time? Let's hope, fingers crossed, that we were able to make some solid progress. I know I saw a bunch of you hopping in during the sprint. And you know what? I feel like we got some good writing vibes. I wasn't sure, I'll be honest, I wasn't sure how I was going to do today on the writing front, but I think once I had kind of gotten started, I think I'm actually feeling a little better now. I've this it's once again I'm in a different character POV chapter. It just happens to be the one of the I think this is actually the only Mr. Crow POV chapter. This is the only standalone Mr. Crow POV chapter in the book, which is I'm like just realizing that. And it's done very, very intentionally. And I'm kind of having some realizations for the series as I'm writing it. But I want this chapter to like pack a punch because we haven't gotten Mr. Crow's POV. And up until this point, the eccentric Mr. Crow he's kind of gone back and forth. He's kind of dark and he's very strange and kooky and eccentric. And I really wanted to play into his eccentricities and really peel back a layer for, I mean, we're what, 40% of the way into the story for why I want the reader to get some hints on why Mr. Crow is so strange. I want them to get a hint and a taste. And I think that's actually, I'm having fun with that. So I'm getting some good stuff. I wasn't sure how it was going to come along from the rough draft because the rough draft, his character wasn't as fleshed out as I really pushed him in this draft. So awesome. It looks like you guys are getting some good progress. Laura, 474 words, maybe 200 good ones. Hey, well, you know what? 474 is better than nothing, my friend. Sounds like you're at least making some good progress. Hey, what's up, Devin? Hello, in Stitch voice. Like, I don't think I can do the Stitch voice, so I would try. Hello. Nope. No, I was like, you have to go like really squeaky for that. I don't think I could get Stitch. Maybe some other Disney characters. So very, very cool. Let's see, Maddie. You're like, I have a ventriloquist that's sworn revenge against a stand-up comic, and he's given him diabetes from Pavlovian response. Dang, that sounds really intense. That sounds really intense, Maddie. That sounds like a really cool obstacle and conflict, by the way, between this character and this the ventriloquist and the comic. That's oh man. Well, it sounds like you're having some fun with your character development. I mean, for sure. Oof, man. Yeah, talk about interesting character development. Maybe I'm not the only one who's dealing with some strange character development right now. I not only yeah, so I mean like not only am I in a standalone POV chapter where Crow is just like such a weird personality, I'm also introducing a couple of supporting characters. Um that's right. And I have to make a determination on a power dynamic actually. I completely forgot because Crow is about to come to the rescue for a couple of these minor supporting characters because they need to go, they're going to team up because they're both heading towards the same location, which is the Coliseum of the Last, where our poor, helpless little Scarecrow has gotten himself captured. So we're going to see if what's going to happen with our poor Scarecrow. Tiara, I just got home from a busy day, so no writing that sessions. Feeding the cat and also myself will be writing the next sprint. Nice. Well, Tiara, that's awesome that you're still able to, that you're going to be able to join us for a little bit of writing today. I don't know what I'll work on though. I might just open up Scrivener and go where my feet take me. Well, you know, sometimes that's a good idea. If you're feeling like you don't know which direction to go, or maybe you've been like bouncing between projects, sometimes you just like trust your gut creatively and kind of see what comes out. Like Tara, I don't know if you're planning on the faded fantasy or not, but we got some fantasy and romance. The fantasy and romance genres are in season. That is the vibes for what we got coming up with the community. So like I ended up working with Crow about working with the contest. And you see, that's why this is why Mr. Crow has decided to come on for Faded Fantasy. Because Soul was able to negotiate with him. That is the truth right there. I don't know what Soul promised Mr. Crow, but that one might be a secret for a little while longer. Because as I well know from the novel, Mr. Crow seems to eat just about anything and everything. I've kind of given Crow the ability of like this. I don't know if it's an ability or not. I do think it is actually. I think it's the consequence of an ability. Mr. Crow has a form of and like an insatiable hunger where he basically like has to eat. But I've only like referenced it loosely, so it's actually kind of interesting. And there's a reason that he has it, but I can't really explain it too much without giving away spoilers. Spoiler. Awesome. So on that note, let's do a couple of quick call outs. So first off, if you're enjoying the stream, follow and subscribe. We're here every day with the Right Now community. 400 and what, 60, 70 consecutive streams. If you're looking for a daily writing community with writers of all genres and skill levels, we have the critique stream, we have the podcast, we have a book club, we have our upcoming contest, and so much more. This is the place to be. So make sure to tap that follow or subscribe button, and you'll be alerted when we go live. Okay, so as promised, my friends, before I hop back into the writing sprint, I'll pull up. I was like, oh, that's there. Okay, I need to pull up uh Faded Fantasy. So real quick, I'll do a quick shout out for anyone who missed out on yesterday's stream, because yesterday announcement stream, and we actually had a couple of big announcements. So I would actually highly recommend, if you do if you did miss yesterday, you go back and watch the replay, because there were some huge community announcements. But I'll touch upon one of the bigger ones, which was the official announcement for our next writing competition, the Faded Fantasy Flash Fiction Competition. So I am very, very excited about this competition. For those of you who've been around the community for a little while, we hosted our very first competition back in October for Freaky Friday. So we are finally ready to return with the Faded Fantasy Flash Fiction Competition. This is going to be your chance to submit a flash fiction story. Submissions open next Monday. Next Monday, I will be giving a detailed breakdown on what the submission rules are and the guidelines. Everyone will have 1 month to work on their flash fiction story, because I want to give everyone a fair chance. What I have been able to share so far is that you can start thinking about ideas. The overall themes, or the overall areas that the flash fiction is going to be judged on, is broken up into 4 categories this time. It's going to be broken up into genre, story, readability, and theme. Those will be the 4 categories. So those are going to be the 4 categories that it's going to be judged on. Now, what is different about this contest is you're going to have a chance to win a couple of cool things. So we're actually, just by entering, you're going to have a chance to win awards that's going to be recognized during the live stream. So these are going to be some super cool awards. Yeah, so it's going to be a really cool award and voting system. So regardless of whether or not you win the main prize, this is going to be really, really cool. Now, the way it works out is everybody who submits will have to be will be narrowed down into a semi-finalist. The semi-finalists will make it to the live stream. If you are a semi-finalist, you'll get the chance to have an author credit. What that means is you'll have the chance to be put into the next anthology. So we did our Freaky Friday anthology after the last after Freaky Friday. If you make it to the semifinalist, you'll have the chance to be in the next anthology, which means you'll get an author credit. just for applying to be in this contest, which it's absolutely free, by the way. There's no submission cost because I want this to be accessible. And then not only that, you'll be getting professional feedback from our judges. And then those who make it to the semifinal, you'll have a chance to get into the final face to face. So there's going to be a final face off for our top competitors. And from those top competitors, there will be a prize. There will be a prize. Now, instead of doing one genre where all the submissions are going against each other, we've broken up into the categories. We're breaking up into two separate submission types. You're going to be able to submit under the fantasy category or the romance category. So romance stories will not be competing against fantasy and vice versa. They might be for some of the awards, but for the monetary prize, whoever wins the competition of the $20 Barnes & Noble gift card, you'll have a chance to win that if you can win your genre. So we will be crowning a romance and a fantasy genre winner. So whether you write romance or whether you write fantasy, you're going to get the shot at both. Or you're like, hey, maybe I write romantasy, or maybe I write romance, but there's elements of fantasy. Well, you're actually going to have to make that decision of which category, which genre you want to enter. And this is going to be part of the strategy for you. Do you write a story and enter it into the romance category, or do you write a story and enter it into the fantasy category? So we will see which ones you decide to submit, and it should be fun. It should be fun. We have some really cool things, and luckily, like I said, our wonderful Mr. Crow has agreed to host. He said that he caught out that we can only take certain images of him for now until he can make his guest appearance if we give him food. So very much looking forward to that. That's our Faded Fantasy competition. We'll be making the official announcement and opening up submissions next Monday. So make sure to stick around the community if you want to learn more. Because let me tell you, Freaky Friday, we had such a blast. We had such a blast during Freaky Friday. You know what I should do is I should probably link the Freaky Friday videos in the YouTube description, actually. So for anyone who missed out on Freaky Friday, on the Freaky Friday competition, I'll link the videos down in the description if you want to go check them out. Awesome. So I'm very much looking forward to Faded Fantasy. This is going to be our next awesome event. And then on that note, let's get into our second writing sprint. So I think I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going to go, all right, 5:17. All right, so we'll do 30 minutes on this next one. Perfect. And I think I am all ready. Let me make sure the banner is good. So we're going to writing sprint number 2 at 30 minutes. All right, perfect. Awesome. And I am all ready. So whether you are writing, brainstorming, editing, or maybe you're just coming to hang out with a bunch of writers, I hope you're ready because it's time to write now. All right, writing sprint done. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. How did that sprint treat you? Were you able to make any progress that time? I kind of did. I was going back and forth on what I was wanting to write. By the way, I saw neglected. Welcome, welcome. 13, welcome back, my friend. I would love to hear, what are you guys working on today? You writing anything fun? I always love seeing new writers in the community, as we have a full community of writers of all different genres. Welcome. I'm working on everyone's favorite, The Last Scarecrow, a dark fantasy adventure. Now, it's interesting because I'm working on this very crazy Mr. Crow, this eccentric crow scene. And this is a standalone POV chapter. I'm trying to think about how I want to transition it. So, in the rough draft, the crow had come upon this group of individuals that they befriend temporarily. I thought about adjusting how Crow finds them. I think I'm going to keep that the same. One of the characters that he's about to meet is under the effects of a curse, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to adjust this curse effect, and I'm not sure yet. So there is I don't know. There's this so Crow's about to meet. There's an otter, Audie, Audie the otter. Originally I was gonna change it, but I was like, you know what? Something about it is kind of interesting. There's the otter. So there's Audie the otter, and then there's Lady Skunk, who's very dark and foreboding. And then there's Maisie the squirrel, kind of like a little like ninja squirrel in a sense. Maybe less ninja, maybe more like yeah, kind of ninja-ish. So Crow's about to come across those ones, but what's interesting is Lady Skunk always carries this sword, and it's a cursed blade. And I really wanted to see if I was like, okay, well, play into the cursed sword trope for fantasy, but I continue to ask myself, how do I subvert expectations and do different things with this cursed sword? So I've been trying to think about how I want to make the magic of the curse work. Um, I know I'm talking about it out loud. It's hard for me to be able to kind of talk about some of the magical effects of it without giving some more integral plot points and reveal for the story. So, needless to say, it's a curse blade and it does some cool things. That's where I'm at. I'm developing cursed swords. Oh man, let's see where you guys at. Are you muted? I don't think I'm muted. Am I muted? Okay, cool. Yeah, I was like, I mean, Tiara, that's happened before. I was like, I don't know. Okay, cool. You got to figure it out. I was like, there's been times where I have been muted before, so like, it happens. uh, hey, what's up, Janine? You're like, I'm trying to write this new chapter, starting at the end. You know, sometimes it's a good strategy when we're like super stuck on something. Sometimes going from the back to the beginning can be a really good strategy to help some writers get unstuck. I was like, that would never, for me personally, that would never work because I have to like do things in order. But I know for a lot of writers that could prove very effective. Yeah. Oof, man. I was like, cursed sword magic. This is what I'm trying to figure out. How do I want how do I want to do something different with a cursed blade that hasn't been done before? No, I've already created the power. I have already created the power for it. I'm trying to figure out the rules. That's what I'm thinking through. I'm trying to figure out the rules because the rules are delivered in a way that's very straightforward and upfront, but creates a twist later on in the novel. Hmm. Hey, what's up, JK? How is the writing coming along? Awesome. Awesome, awesome. I'm working through a standalone POV chapter in my novel with the eccentric Mr. Crow. And he's about to meet a character with a cursed blade. So I'm trying to ask how I can do the cursed blade trope. Little different than has been done before. So I'm like, I have to think through because that's who he's about to encounter in this next beat. Hmm. In the rough draft, I think what I did was I introduced the sword and I introduced some of the magic effects a little later on, but I don't think that I fleshed out the rules of it. Now, I when I did the character development in between drafts, I developed both the characters, but I'm trying to think about how do I incorporate the way I developed the magic system into this draft. And I'm trying to think through it in a way that's effective. So I'm working through a story. I'm working through a story magic opportunity problem right now. We'll see. We'll see if I can figure it out. Maybe. Possibly. But I feel like everyone's been getting some solid writing done here today in the streams. Like we've been getting some really, really great progress. So yeah, I feel pretty good. I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel getting into the first sprint, but I was like, I feel like once we got into the second one, I was kind of like doing a little better. And then we'll see how sprint number 3 goes. So I was like, all right, I feel pretty good. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think I do feel pretty good. As we're about to hop into our next sprint, if you're not a member of the Read Now Book Club, our book of the month is Mythic, which is a science fiction. It's a sci-fi, some elements of fantasy. Super cool. You guys should definitely make sure to come join us if you haven't joined us for the Read Now Book Club. The book Mythic is actually free to download for the month of April. Adrian's made it absolutely free. We did the author interview on Saturday, which is super cool. The interview is linked down in the description if you missed it out. And then we're going to be discussing the book next Saturday. So make sure to come join us if you want to join in on the live Read Now book discussion. So and pick up a copy of the book and come join. So I'm really looking forward to digging into it for sure. And that is time. So let's get into the the third writing sprint. I believe in us. All right, so writing sprint number 3, and I think we're at 5:55. Okay, I'm a little limited on time, so I'm going to go. I need to do the third sprint at 25 minutes, because of my schedule. So we'll do writing sprint number 3 at 25 minutes, and hopefully we can make some progress on this third one. All right, my friends, and I think I am all ready. So, you know the drill. Whatever you're doing at the writing process, come join us because it's time to write now. Let's go. Yes. All right, my friends, and that is a third writing sprint. Hope you were able to get some work done as well. I think we made some solid progress. I made a little bit of progress with the chapter. I feel like I got to about the halfway mark. Granted, the Crow chapter is a little shorter. I was like, the Crow chapter is definitely a little shorter. I'm like, yeah, I was like, how long did I make the Pebble chapter? I'm actually curious now. All right, so the Pebble chapter is 5. Okay, so the Pebble chapter is about 13 pages. I can probably get that down to 10 somehow in the edit, which I think makes sense. I mean, I think both the Pebble and the Crow chapter are going to be about shorter-ish ones, comparatively to some of the longer chapters of this part of the book. So I think I feel pretty good so far. I'm gonna have to kind of breathe on Mr. Crow. I think there's a lot of elements of this chapter that are working well now. I'm not sure if it's there yet, or I think I just need to pull back for a second. So we'll see. But hopefully you're able to get some writing done as well. And thank you all for joining me for today's writing sprints. Now, as we look towards creative writing on the morrow, I was like, here we go. I'll be back tomorrow for the Right Now Writers group. We'll be back, so make sure to come join us with a bunch of other writers as we hop on stream and chat through all things writing. If you want to hop on stream with us, let me know. Come join the group. It's a very casual group. Our 42nd meeting tomorrow, and we'll talk it up and we'll see what writing craziness we can get into. If you enjoyed the stream, tap that like button your way out. Help us show the algorithm that writing streams are cool. All right, my friends, it's been a great stream, but unfortunately, that brings us to the end of the stream. Don't forget, words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kaufman, and I'll catch you on the morrow. Stay creative, writers.
Right now.
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 Because it's